Welcome to the Australia Today. We have eminent guest with us, Indian MP Tejasvi Surya. Tejasvi, welcome to Australia Today. First and foremost, how is Australia treating you?
Great. It's been about 3-4 days now, and I've really come to like everything about this beautiful country. Melbourne is amazing, actually.
And people of Melbourne.
Yes, of course. People of Sydney must not get angry, but I found Melbourne to be more beautiful. The vibe of the city is so much like Bangalore. So I like Melbourne, and I like Australia, and the Indian community here has been extremely warm. I have had the opportunity of meeting so many of them. Such inspiring and incredible stories of achievement, of accomplishment, coming here with barely nothing in hand, and building institutions here, employing so many people, making a life for not only themselves but for so many people. It's truly been a very inspiring experience.
Definitely, and with the kind of success Indian Australians have got, with that comes targeting, harassment, and a few other things. We'll talk about it. But let me talk to you. How do you see Australia-India relationship, government to government, and business to business, and people to people? Are they growing? Is there a hindrance? And if there is one, then how to solve it?
I think in the history of independent India's existence, the last 7 decades, I think we are at the highest point of India-Australia relationship. I think whether it is in terms of trade, people to people, government to government, educational institutions, trade, commerce, in every respect, I think India and Australia are working very closely. Efforts and institutions like the Quad are also being strengthened, and we have known that Australia had earlier withdrawn from the Quad ones, and but I think now all of the Quad countries are more invested in the Asia Pacific region, and also I was part of this delegation called the AIYD, the Australia India Youth Dialogue. I see among the young people that I interacted, both Australians as well as Indians, great enthusiasm for India-Australia relationship. I think we are both vibrant democracies. There is free and fair elections, peaceful transfer of power, some broad values that we all are aligned towards. So I think in the coming days, the relationship will be even more strengthened.
You have talked about AIYD. So what are the 3 takeaways which stayed with you from those dialogues there?
One, that there is even greater possibility for Australia-India collaboration. So yesterday during the discussions we had kind of arrived at like 3 broad areas: study, work, collaborate. In all of these 3 areas, I think Australia-India can converge its interests. With the new national education policy that Honorable Modi ji has brought, there is even more scope for coordination and collaboration opportunities between Australian universities and Indian universities back home. I think after COVID, the the largest diaspora of students here is the Indian community, almost equivalent to the Chinese students. So I think in terms of education, I see great collaboration and opportunities. Australia is in great need of skilled workers, both in trades as well as in high-skilled workers, and India has such a large population which can cater to these needs. That's another area where we can collaborate. So, and lastly, I think on issues of security, strategy, on global issues like climate change, terrorism, renewable energy. I think on all of these things, I think India, Australia have also tackling big tech. These are all areas in which India, Australia can do better, and that's the takeaway.
Fantastic. That sounds very optimistic. Now, let's come back to Indian Australian society. With that kind of success cloud, whatever you want to call it, a lot of attacks have come to Indian Australians, particularly Hindu-phobic. If I'm sure you are familiar with that word, and it has made us really worried, stressed, and at times we fear for things. How do you see that? And you must have talked to a lot of community members.
Yeah.
How do you react to it?
I think Hindu phobia is very real, and I think creating a stereotype around Hindus and wrongly projecting them as in wrong terminologies, but in ways that they are definitely not, is a global exercise undertaken by people, forces which do not want the best for Bharat and Bharatiyas. I think we must all be cognizant of that fact, and it is very essential for us to recognize that there is a global attempt by a few inimical forces which try to malign the Hindus. I also feel that there is a need for more assertion of our distinct, unique cultural identity, especially when we are living in multicultural, diverse societies like Australia. We must do that as well. And we must also articulate issues of Hindu human rights, Hindu representation, Hindu diversity in a more assertive fashion at all important domestic and international forums.
There are a lot of forces who are trying to hijack that Hindu identity, and because of that, there is a whole campaign, Hindu-phobic campaign run against you also in Australia. Is there a message to those people that Australia is a very diverse country? It is open for everyone, it welcomes everyone, and there is a space for debate, not for cancel culture.
Unfortunately, in the last few years, we have been witnessing the so-called champions of freedom of speech and expression being the propagators of this cancel culture. The very essence of democracy is dialogue, and dialogue is effective only when it is done with people who may not agree with you. Dialogue in an echo chamber, dialogue only with those who agree with you, dialogue only with homogeneous people is not a sign of a vibrant democracy. And these people do not wish good for any democracy, those people who propagate this cancel culture. It is to the credit of Australian government, it is to the credit of Australian agencies and institutions, and especially the universities which sponsored the dialogue, the AIYD, that they did not fall or go weak in front of this very anti-democratic propaganda that a few forces tried to create. Australia, I have come to see and experience in the last 1 week, is an extremely diverse, multicultural society. It represents all and respects all points of view, and I think that is how a vibrant democracy must be. And it is incumbent on all of us, more so on Indian Australians, because even India is a very vibrant democracy. It is more so the responsibility of all of us to be on the vanguard of protecting Australia's diversity and democracy.
That has happened to you. Talked about university not coming under pressure, but now they're trying to attack personal business of Indian Australians.
It's very sad that these forces are resorting to these tactics, but I'm extremely confident, like I said, that irrespective of which government is in power, whether it's in India or whether it's in Australia at the federal or the central state levels, the commitment of our institutions to democracy, to human rights, to allowing all shades of opinions and voice to be represented is, I think, paramount. And all institutions, whether it's in India or whether it's in Australia, I have seen are always committed to this. And I can only ask the Indian community here to make use of the institutions in Australia to represent our point of view and to communicate the needs and aspirations of the Australian Indian community.
Thank you so much. Last two questions, they are interconnected. When are you coming back to Australia now? You liked it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have no idea when that would happen, but I really would look forward to another opportunity to come here and spend more time. This trip has been an extremely official trip. I have been in back-to-back engagements. I have spent more time inside university classrooms than seeing the city and the country. So maybe sometime if I get an opportunity to see and explore the country, I look forward to it.
I said that my question is connected. So when are you getting married? And yes, we would like to welcome you on a private visit.
Thank you. When that happens, I look forward to coming.
No, a lot of girls have written to us that ask this question, what's the plan with Tejasvi?
But how is that related to me visiting Australia?
We will welcome you on a honeymoon probably.
Oh well, I want to keep this answer guessing so that there can be an episode 2 we can do sometime.
Thank you so much, Tejasvi.
Thank you so much.
This was Tejasvi Surya, Indian MP from Bangalore South, talking straight to you.